Bullet Club.
Hello and welcome back to the channel, or welcome to the channel if it's your first time with us. This is Leanne Presents. I'm your host for this video, Leanne, and I'm joined by Alan, my co-host, and Rags, the one who usually ruins everything. Hopefully, he got some purring.
Trying to get him to say hello.
He doesn't do what he's told. So as you've seen from the title card, we are here with our reactions to AEW's latest pay-per-view, AEW Dynasty. So this took place on Sunday, the 21st of April. And because we're unfortunately living in the UK.
We're unfortunately living in the UK for numerous reasons.
Yeah,
AEW being one of them.
Because we're in the UK, we can't stay up late enough to watch it, so we watched it today as recording, which is Monday the 22nd.
Mm-hmm. After we finished work and stuff, which is why this isn't going up on the 22nd.
Yes, but we've got there.
Damn you, life, for getting in the way all the time.
I hope that you weren't waiting too much in anticipation and that you're happy to be here now. So this was a crazy event. I think it sort of had a bit of there was a wave line to it. It started off quite high. Might have been a bit of a dip in the middle. You usually expect that in a pay-per-view, and then it just went like to the moon.
Yeah.
But we'll go through the matches. If you haven't seen the event, this will be, as you can expect, spoiler heavy. So if you're planning to watch it, we would highly recommend watching it before coming back to watch this video. If you haven't already seen our predictions for the video, we'll be referencing them quite a bit. So I'll put a link somewhere on the screen so you can go back and see what we predicted would happen before the event took place.
Yeah.
And we'll see now how we did.
Cool.
So we'll start with the 0 hour. So since our reaction video, at which point there was one match announced for 0 hour, there's now 3 matches for 0 hour.
Yes.
So we start with Matt Sydal versus Trent Beretta. This was not one of the ones that we knew about.
No, I think this got announced on Friday. I think
it was because it was before
Friday.
before Collision and everything happened.
Yes, yeah, that's right.
Matt Sydal is accompanied by his brother Mike Sydal. And there's a bit in the commentary where they were trying to figure out who it was, and it's like, oh, it's Mike Sydal.
Yeah,
oh, yeah, I know
it's
Mike.
His brother.
So it's quite fun. The interesting thing that I found, Trent Beretta is still using Best Friends entrance
Yeah,
music.
I did clock that. I thought that was a really good heel move, though. It's almost like a troll move.
Yes, and he still has Orange Cassidy on his knee pads as well, which is there's something about this that's just so right. Beretta plays such a good heel anyway, but he was such a good face before.
Yeah. But
he's got that really sort of calm, the sort of almost silent heel demeanor. He'll like roll out of the ring just to play mind games.
Yeah.
It's sort of been a bit of quite a seamless transition. It's almost like he's always been this way, and we just haven't noticed it. If you see what I mean. There's a really cool character.
And I think this is going to be good for him. I think because when obviously in Best Friends and they're a tag team or they're trios, both him and Chucky T kind of get overshadowed by Orange a lot.
Yeah, I think so.
So I feel this is probably a good thing for him.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering if this isn't quite not so much last minute, but a kind of recent thing that they've come up with and said, hey, how about we turn you heel?
Mm-hmm.
But we'll keep giving you the Best Friends media. We'll keep having you come out wearing your normal gear with Orange Cassidy's face on it and all this. You know, I think this. I don't know. I'm not sure where this come from, but I'm enjoying it. I like Trent.
Very interesting, and it gets you sort of wondering what on earth has happened, which is pretty fun. We had a lot of "We Want Sue" chants from the crowd, which is fun. And Sydal sort of on the opposite side to Beretta's calm, almost calculating demeanor. Matt Sydal's like really fired up, and he's very athletic in this match and using every opportunity. He just seems really angry. I'm not sure what he's angry at, but
yeah,
he is angry. That's the whole situation. So a couple of, I guess, a highlight for me. Oh no, I didn't put any. Okay. Yeah. The highlight, I guess, was for me was the sort of whole demeanor of both of them and how they worked well together.
They both look strong.
Yeah, they really did. So if you got anything before we get into
it's too easy to sleep on Matt Sydal because he's usually an enhancement talent. Yes. He comes in and jobs to people, but he even though he may have lost this match, possibly, who knows? We haven't got to that bit yet. He still looks strong, regardless.
Yeah, definitely. So talking of who won.
Whoops, bad.
Trent Beretta gets Matt Sydal in a chokehold across the shin, I think it was.
It was like they were dragging him down onto his shin.
It was a very interesting look, and Sydal taps out to that after a bit. But even after the bell, Trent Beretta is attacking him, and out comes Chuck Taylor, who sort of comes to the defense of Matt Sydal. Trent Beretta then has a mic and starts telling Chuck Taylor that he didn't text him or anything this whole time to find out like what's going on with him.
He's been trying to call him. He's not replying to his text messages.
So he's giving him until Wednesday to
Dynamite.
Tell him where he stands. So that's interesting because it's sort of putting that seed in your mind of maybe something's happened to trigger this, and maybe Beretta isn't the bad guy.
Yeah, maybe.
Who knows?
That'd be a hell of a swerve, wouldn't it? Having Orange turn out to be the bad guy instead.
Yeah.
That would be a hell of a swerve.
It's interesting. Because all we've seen is what's on TV. We don't know what's happened in the background.
Yeah.
Like, it's interesting. So after that, Orange Cassidy's music plays, because, spoiler alert, his match is next. We'll get to it. But he comes out while Beretta's still heading out to the back, and they sort of have a long-distance face-off a little bit. And then he leaves. Beretta leaves.
When Shibata's music starts playing.
Yeah. So this was a really good match, a great starter. Both these guys are amazing workers that can tell a really compelling story through their work. So it was great to see like their emotion come through and what they were doing and how they were doing it. And I'm very interested to see where they go from here. That brings us quite neatly onto the next match then, because our first two competitors have already had their music playing. This is Orange Cassidy and Katsuyori Shibata versus Shane Taylor and Lee Moriarty of Shane Taylor Productions.
And Promotions.
Sorry.
Shane Taylor Promotions, yeah.
That's the one. It's the other P. We also have Anthony Ogogo on commentary.
Yeah, who's also a member of STP.
Yes. So yes, this was another fun match. What I really enjoyed about this one is like the different styles that all these four guys have. I'd written stuff about it and I can't find it. So you've got Lee Moriarty, who I can only describe as slippery. I think you used that word and it's stuck in my head because I'm like,
yeah, he is
slippery.
He is, yeah. He seems to know how to get out of most things.
Yeah, just the way he moves. It's just like always.
He's just like a fluid in a sack, you know?
And that works really well with Cassidy's style because he's sort of got not like slippery, but he's very sort of.
I think they call it like sloth style. But
yes,
it's not so much recently, but
no. He's a lot more active than he used to be. He tries sometimes.
Well, animated, maybe?
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd class Orange Cassidy as active.
His sort of, I guess, wiry way of moving works really well with Lee Moriarty's style. And then
Tiger style.
Shane Taylor being just so hard-hitting. And he's an impressive guy. I think I've been sleeping on Shane Taylor a bit. I sort of wasn't really paying attention. And I'm like, oh, wait. He can hit a man.
Oh, yeah.
Hard.
Oh, yeah.
And then Shibata, surprisingly being able to step to him and give as good as he gets.
Yeah, don't ever sleep on Shibata.
Oh, no.
Ever.
So
Shibata's a legend.
Seeing those two together, you're like, oh, Shibata's never gonna be able to stay standing. And they're knocking each other down.
You're wrong.
So you've got one really great pairing and the second really great pairing, and then they can mix and match and have really interesting spots. It's just this match was put together so well, and the pacing I really enjoyed as well.
Yeah.
I did enjoy, you had at one point Shane Taylor in the corner and both Cassidy and Shibata delivering like shots to him. But you had Shibata hitting really hard, and then Cassidy, and then, but he did get a bit more.
He started to get progressively more. Yeah,
it was fun, just the
it's the dynamic, isn't it?
Between them, and just like seeing the effort come in, and I mean, Cassidy can hit hard when he wants to as well. So that was sort of one of my little highlights. Is there anything you wanted to add before we get to the finish?
I felt it was a really slow start, but I guess they were kind of trying to feel each other out, or that kind of thing. But then when it kicked in, it was like almost non-stop.
Yeah,
it's quite frenetic.
Definitely.
Which I think is something we're going to say a lot about this entire show.
Oh yeah, I think I've written non-stop a few times through this, so we'll see. All right, so after some crazy back and forth between Lee Moriarty and Orange Cassidy in particular, there's a cat. Cassidy hits an orange punch on Lee Moriarty and pins him for the win.
In terms of predictions, because you went straight into the match, we both predicted Trent to beat Matt Sydal in the first match, and we got that correct. You predicted STP to win this one. I predicted Orange Cassidy and Katsuyori Shibata, and I was correct on this one.
Yeah.
The predictions for those were put into the description of our predictions video. If you did want to check out the predictions video, obviously just go back and check that out. It depends on if you just want to see how we thought things were going to go and sort of surmising what was going to happen and whatnot. But yeah, cool.
And now Rex is going to sit on your notes.
That's fine. My notes are on this page.
Good.
This is the predictions
Don't tell
page.
him that.
This is the reactions page.
Nice. All right, next. And the last match on 0 Hour is the Titles for Titles Trios match between the Bang Bang Gang and the Acclaimed. So you've got the Ring of Honor World 6-Man Championships.
Yeah.
And the AEW World
Trios
Championships. Yeah. I knew
they
were different.
It gets it gets a bit confusing, this one. And again, by order of the Bang Bang Gang, guns up! No.
Sesame.
I'm not sure if they're supposed to be transitioning the name to the Bang Bang Gang, because it still says Bullet Club Gold on that.
Yeah, but they definitely announced them as Bang Bang Gang.
Yeah. I'm not sure why they're doing that.
Wrote.
Yeah, I prefer the name Bullet Club Gold myself.
Yeah.
Sounds a bit less childlike, but
it might be one of these things where it depends on which members of Bullet Club Gold would be in there. So I don't know if it's one of those where there's other members elsewhere.
No, because it's the Guns. You got Switchblade Jay White, and you got Juice Robinson. That's it.
So what if when Juice Robinson's there, it's Bullet Club Gold, but when it's just the Guns and Jay White, it's Bang Bang Gang?
I still think it should be Bullet Club Gold all the way.
Yeah. I don't know. I
Bang
just wrote
Bang
down
Gang
what they
would
said.
like be the nickname. No, I know. I said Bang Bang Gang could be the nickname.
Yeah.
But I prefer Bullet Club Gold. I'm not biased.
Surely not. So Max Caster is back to rapping.
Yeah.
He did kind of 2 raps this time round.
Yeah.
There's one, I guess, that was with the music, and I guess this one, the references in it, we didn't really get. Quite often there'll be.
I don't think there was any in the first one.
We didn't sort of get it, but it's fine. It sounded good. And then the music, he cut the music and then did like a second rap, and I maybe stumbled a little bit with it. I don't know if he wasn't satisfied with the reaction to the first one, so outlived another one. It was a little bit off.
Yeah.
To me, but it's fine. He's still doing it, which is great.
I think if it goes bum like that, though, you just kind of need to kill it and be like, right, we need to stop this.
Because the one he did was it on Collision or on?
It was Collision, because they fought
Saturday.
the Guns. Yeah, they fought the Guns.
That was really good, and it was back like on form. He's got headphones on now, which he didn't used to have, which are wired in to, I guess, help keep the rhythm and stuff. And it sounded great. So I'm quite disappointed for him that it didn't go as good on the pay-per-view. There we go. What can you do? It's fine.
Well, we can all hope that the Bullet Club Gold showed him the real way things are going to go. But we'll find that out in a minute.
My main highlights of this are very much about the father-son dynamic with the Guns. It was an excellent match. So much talent in this thing. But a lot of the storytelling element was sort of all around the Guns. And I'm not complaining about it. I think it was great. You had Austin Gunn trying to arm drag Billy Gunn, and he just didn't budge at all. And then a bit later on, where was it? I wrote it. Colton Gunn tried to hit Billy from behind, realized he'd made a mistake, and then they ended up hugging for a bit.
Yeah, he kind of hits him, and Billy's just like deadpan, straight to the hard cam, turns around, and Colt's just like, hug.
Sorry. That was really cute.
It's funny.
And then a bit later on, we get Jay White managing to hit Billy Gunn with the gold baseball bat behind the ref's back.
Yeah.
Which allows the Guns to hit it. It's a 310
to Yuma.
I wrote it down right. Yay. Well done, me. Which was a pretty awesome moment.
Yeah.
Have you got any highlights you want to go over before we finish?
I just put I didn't want to take my eyes off the screen to write notes, so I just put it was a fantastic match. It's probably one of the best trios matches, I think, and it was non-stop. It just didn't let up. It was constant, and it was great.
It was.
And I think that's what you need in a trios match when you've got 4 guys stood on the outside and 2 in the ring, and they've got like a headlock or a chokehold in the middle of the ring, and it's like,
yeah. Sometimes it works, but not if it's going on too long.
These 2 teams, you can't.
No.
They're too high energy.
For sure. So after an amazing back and forth between Switchblade Jay White and Billy Gunn, Switchblade hits a Blade Runner on Billy and pins him to win.
I'll say it again. By order of the Bang Bang Gang, Guns up. New champs. New unified champs.
They were already champs, now they're champs.
Well, no, they've unified the belts. So after we did our predictions video and put it upload and whatever, Tony Khan was like, "Oh yeah, we're unifying the belts." I'm like, "Great, you couldn't have told us that beforehand." Thanks, pal.
There we go. At least it means they're not carrying around all loads of belts.
Well, like in WWE?
Yeah.
Even they've started seeing the error of their ways. Yeah, no. I'm wondering if there'll be like some sort of new title presentation.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
How are our predictions on that one?
We both got that one correct. We both predicted the Bang Bang Gang, the Bullet Club, gold to get that.
Yeah.
There was no way I was betting against Bullet Club.
No. And then we move on to the main show. So this is Dynasty. We're in St. Louis, Missouri. I missed the name of the arena. I think you said it in the predictions. It's something.
Chivette.
Something we can't pronounce.
Chivette, I think.
Chivette?
Tony Schiavone said it was Chivette. I think.
Chivette.
Might have been Excalibur.
So yeah.
Chivette.
Anyway, so
in jokes.
In true AEW form, we get straight to the action with our first match of the main show for the AEW Continental Championship. The Bastard Pack versus the Rainmaker, Kazuchika Okada.
Yep. Oh.
I already said the AEW Continental
sorry, I was
Championship.
making a note. Sorry, my bad.
Never listens. This is an excellent match.
Does anybody want to see my gold baseball bat?
The pace was fairly slow, at least to start
Yeah,
with.
I was kind of not expecting that.
Yeah, but it doesn't make it any less impressive. I'll never get tired of watching Pac.
I know.
There's something about him. It's sort of the speed, the agility,
the strength,
the brutality,
and
just the general attitude and look he's got as well. It makes him surprisingly unique. There's something. There's a load of people who like go for the angry British man look.
Just don't pull it off.
Don't pull it off. But he's got that combination. He's got something special that makes him just a joy to watch. It's great stuff. And Okada, well.
What can you say about Okada apart from it's Okada?
It's Okada.
It's the Rainmaker. What more do you want?
He's incredible. And AEW is lucky to have him, and we're lucky to be able to watch him.
I mean, I've been watching him in New Japan, but yeah.
Yes. So there was a moment where Okada, I think I wrote Spike's Pack on the outside. I'm not sure if there's the right term for what happened, and now I can't quite remember what happened.
I can't remember.
I just wrote that there was a hell of a sell job. I think Pac was just like, he looked completely out of it for a while. He can sell a thing. There was a spot where Okada goes for a German suplex and Pac just lands on his feet. I'm sure that happens later on with someone else thinking about it.
Yeah, I know already.
But I mean, for it to get pulled off twice in one night is
both the Brits.
Good point. So yeah, that was really great.
British wrestling. Oh.
Destructive cat. There's a moment Okada's on top and he's like riling up the crowd and he goes like as if he's gonna sort of leans forwards and he's gonna sort of raise up in it. I think you described it as going like
it's kind of like the
bring the rain kind of thing, or
make
it rain.
Yeah.
But instead he just flips the bird at everyone.
that got a lot of "F you, Okada"
so
chants.
Oh, it's so good. This match was full of
but
highlights.
He's leaning so hard into that heel elite gimmick right now, and it's great. I'm all for it.
Good.
Because he's played I haven't seen all of his New Japan run, but he played a face pretty much every time I've seen him in a New Japan. He's played a face. That's probably like the last 2 years, maybe.
I bet he's having so much fun with this. Then it's so good. You got any highlights you want to go over before we get to the finish?
I don't really sort of tend to list highlights.
No, that's fine. Or anything. I
thought it was a hell of an opener. It was a great way to get the crowd going because probably 5, maybe 10 minutes into the match, like I can't remember how long the match was, they were going, "This is awesome" chants.
Yeah, they were.
In the opening match, that is very rare.
Mm-hmm.
Like
that's
a hell of a
help
decision.
that you've got warm-up matches on the 0 hour, but this is still.
And I really love the psychology, especially with Pac, when he would slide to the outside, and then Okada would come again, and Pac would slide inside.
Yeah.
And he was like, "Come get me." It's that kind of psychology of you want me, you got to come and get me.
Yeah, exactly.
But I'm going to make you do it on my terms, that kind of thing, which I thought was really cool. I like the psychology of both these guys.
Yeah, the chemistry between these two was incredible.
Yeah.
And I hope they work together again, basically.
I have no doubt they will.
No, not at all. So Pac goes for the Black Arrow, but Okada gets his knees up.
Catch him right under the chin. That looked painful.
Okada follows up with a Rainmaker and pins Pac to win and retain the Continental Championship.
Boom. Elite. In terms of predictions, we both predicted Okada to retain, and Okada retained.
Whoop whoop.
So we got
doing
that
all
one
right.
correct.
Doing all right.
Well, I'm 4 for 4.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's not.
He knows. So we move on next to our next trios match, which is the House of Black versus the team of Adam Copeland, Mark Briscoe, and Eddie Kingston. Another great match. I mean, how could it not be? It's the House of Black. I do feel like House of Black was sort of the main highlight.
Yes. No, I absolutely agree with that. I absolutely agree with that.
Well, I sort of, the way that I felt was when Team Copeland, as I've written them down, have the upper hand in this match, it feels like they are fighting the House of Black.
Yeah.
Like you might expect.
Yeah.
When the House of Black have the upper hand, it feels like they are punishing Team Copeland. That's the difference in it.
Yeah.
It really feels like they're like, well, now it's our turn, and then
and the one thing that we did sort of clock onto that was a bit odd was that the face team of Copeland, Briscoe, and Kingston seemed to be using heel tactics.
Yes,
which is really weird.
I mean, there was definitely a bit of underhandedness from House of Black.
Well, yeah,
always will be.
Yeah,
but you expect it from the heel team.
Yeah,
but there was definitely. Where was it? Eddie Kingston broke something up that was a perfectly legal hold.
Yeah.
And wasn't sort of close to a tap, so there was no real reason to do so.
Nope.
There was a lot of going behind the ref's back.
Yeah. Not ignoring the ref, just all 3 guys in the ring pummeling on one House of Black guy. It's like you don't see that unless it's all 6 guys in the ring and it kind of naturally progresses, then that's, fair enough.
But it was this was just up.
One guy with the 3 others, one guy from House of Black with the 3 others just it's like, hang on a minute, what else going on here? Referee, do you want to do something about this?
So you know what that sort of feels like is they recognize how big of a threat House of Black is.
Oh, absolutely. And House of Black, and even the commentators make a good showing of saying like how much of a credible threat the House of Black are, because they are dangerous.
Oh yeah.
They are absolutely dangerous.
They really are. It's a couple of highlights for me. We had Mark Briscoe sort of had a chair set up on the apron, runs the length of the apron onto the chair, and then flips off the chair onto the outside to attack. And that could have got so wrong.
Yep, just a bit.
The man's got like twinkle toes or something to not have made that chair slip. I was quite impressed with that. I could just see it just disaster, but it went quite smooth and looked really good. It got extra height, but still with the run up. Good move. And well, I guess that's sort of the main highlight. It's like one of those things, like you say, there's so much happening. It's hard to know.
Yeah.
Like,
especially with trios match, and you don't want to sort of. What did I miss?
There was a bit of a botch. I can't remember exactly what happened, but didn't
Eddie Kingston fell over. Yeah. He went to grab the ropes or something, and I guess it was just slippery, and his hand slipped.
Yeah.
And he fell straight in his ass.
But fair play. They got back up.
Yeah.
It's fine. It was okay.
Yeah, you recovered well enough.
Any comments you want to look at before the finish?
Nothing until the finish.
Until after the finish.
And after the finish.
So Adam Copeland runs at Malachi Black, presumably to spear. But
Ref distracted.
Yes, he's distracted. I think by Eddie Kingston on the outside.
I think so, yeah.
But before the spear can happen, Malachi Black missed in the face.
There was a lot of it as well.
A lot. He got a good spread. And just straight from that, he's able to pin Copeland. No, he did a move.
With a black mass.
He did. I was too busy looking at doing my notes.
So he sprayed him. Copeland's like, oh, and then boom! That spinning heel hook kick.
There he goes.
Just black masses him straight down, covers him. 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, it's House of Black wins. The House
should not have bet against the House, goddammit.
Yeah.
What a belter of an upset by the House of Black. And in my mind, like, if this was WWE, and I'm not sure how much weight it's going to lead into sort of in AEW because of the rankings and that.
Yeah.
The champ getting pinned by anyone in a tag match will pretty much catapult them into a title contention.
Yes.
Malachi Black would technically now be in title contention for that TNT title. I want to see Adam Copeland versus Malachi Black one-on-one so bad.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Like, oh wow.
Just the fact that he misted Copeland sort of sets up potential for one-on-one matches, like revenge, that kind of thing.
The thing is, you could sort of wait until Double or Nothing to do it, and that means that Copeland's held that belt for like 7, maybe 8 weeks at that point.
Yeah,
and then give it to Malachi. You know, I feel that the House of Black need to have a singles guy to focus dominantly on in there right now.
Yeah.
Because I feel like they just keep getting beaten by everyone apart from this match, and it's really winding me up.
Yeah, I know. Because they are
really
so dominant.
They are.
How are they losing
Exactly,
so much?
yeah. So having him lose that title to Malachi would just be the pinnacle of that Black Mist cake.
Oh, Black Mist cake. That sounds tasty.
And in terms of predictions, we both thought the Team Copeland were going to win it. I should never have bet against the House. And I'm so upset at myself.
I know. But you're happy that you're wrong.
Oh yeah,
so...
yeah. What a belter of an upset. I figured that like Eddie or Kung Fu Chicken Briscoe, I was going to come in and break up the pin.
Yeah.
Nope.
Yeah, excellent match. So much happening.
Oh, superb. Superb.
Apart from Eddie falling over, not a foot wrong.
Well, it wasn't his feet, it was his hands, wasn't it?
Okay. Our next match is for the TBS Championship. Sticking
with the House.
Julia Hart versus Willow Nightingale. Rex is meowing. It was a good match.
Yeah.
I think this is where we go a little bit dip.
Yeah.
A little bit dip.
It feels the energy was very different. It wasn't quite a frenetic pace that we've seen thus far in the previous 5 matches.
These guys are, both Willow and Julia are amazing talents, like we've talked about. And we've talked about many times before, I'm sure. And they both got such different styles that seeing them work together is really interesting, and gives opportunities for really good spots. There were a couple of things that went a bit off, I suppose. We'll get to that. So I guess first with because it's house rules.
Yes.
And Chris Statlander and Sky Blue are banned from ringside.
Yeah.
We do have Stokely Hathaway on commentary. He doesn't get involved.
No.
But
he usually doesn't, to be fair.
He does question why Mercedes Moné is suddenly a #1 contender.
Yeah, why is Mercedes Moné getting handed a title shot, Double or Nothing, for the win of this match? It's bull.
We were asking the same question.
Yeah, I think I mentioned it in our predictions video.
You did.
Enough.
So if we feel a bit validated,
it's winding me up. Why does this person who has not wrestled a single match suddenly going to get handed a title match and will most likely win that title?
And if you watched our predictions, you'll know that very thing influenced my prediction for this match. But anyways.
Yeah, this is true, yeah. But then, to be fair, that influenced my decision as well.
Yeah.
And we picked 2 different things because I felt that we haven't got good series 1 yet, but I felt Julia would have been the better pick because she's smaller and she's probably the same kind of like wrestling ability in terms of how they wrestle, and they'll be safer with Mercedes. I don't know what the reason that Mercedes broke her ankle when she fought Willow that last time.
Yeah.
But it might have been that Willow was too rough. I don't know. I honestly don't know the answer to that. If you do know, please, in the comments down below, just let us know. Because I don't know the answer to that.
So that's the reason that I predicted for Willow to win this match, because they have that past beef with Willow injuring her.
But I don't know. I just
I get you.
Yeah.
I think they're both valid predictions based on that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But it influences stuff. That's the point. This wasn't a bad match. It was I felt it was fairly short.
I don't know how long it was actually.
But I guess compared to when we've just had trios matches will naturally run longer anyway, so it could be a
not necessarily. They always feel longer because there's a lot more going on.
True, very true. The bit that I was sort of alluding to where stuff maybe didn't go so right was where Julia was trying to put Willow in, I think it was a camel clutch.
Oh.
Which
forgot about that.
She tried.
Yeah.
So Willow Julia can't get the grip properly.
Yeah.
Because they're such different builds.
Yeah, Willow's got a stocky build.
And
she's got very broad shoulders.
So Willow's arms are meant to be back, and Julie's meant to have Willow's arms.
Yes.
And Willow sort of almost stumbles forwards, her arms come out. And then she puts them back. Willow puts her own arms back in the hold. And I was just thinking, you should have just changed and did something different.
Oh God, it was that short? It was 6 minutes.
6 minutes, there you go.
I feel even worse.
So it felt like in the heat of the moment, I suppose she was just like, oh no, this is the spot we're meant to be doing. I've got to get back in the hold. But it probably wasn't done quite the right way to make it believable. Which is fine. These things happen. It's okay.
Yeah, it was a bit.
But other than that, it wasn't a bad match.
No, it was okay.
Wrestling wise.
It was Rags, stop it.
But that does pull you out of it then when there's something that so blatantly like breaks the I can't remember the term.
Immersion.
Breaks the immersion.
It's immersion. You basically saying like it's like if you get stopped in the street by a mugger and they got a knife on you and they drop it and you pick it up and hand it back to them and go, carry on. It's effectively the same thing. It might be not as obviously as drastic, but I kind of like it as something like that.
It is partly, it's on both of them, because once Julia realised she couldn't get the hold properly, she should have changed and did something else. But there we go. I'm sure that's something they work on.
I mean, Julia's still quite new to it. I don't know how long she's been doing this for. But
yeah, I'm not sure. Have you got any notes you want to chat about before the finish?
It felt like a filler match.
It did, unfortunately.
And at 6 minutes, that kind of obviously...
Yeah.
What else? The rest is about Mercedes Moné now. She needs to bugger off.
Yeah, pretty much. All right. So Willow hits Julia with a lariat and pins her to win. So Willow is the new TBS champion.
Ooh. I backed the wrong House of Black members, apparently.
I know. It doesn't feel right, but to me, because I had that sort of thought of Willow's going to win so that she can fight Mercedes. Yeah. It makes sense to me, but it feels like it's not the right reason for it to happen.
No, it absolutely is not the right reason. I feel this is cheap. It kind of cheapens Julia's run.
Yeah.
Because you're literally pulling the belt off her to give it to someone else who's probably going to drop it in like 5 weeks' time.
Yeah, I think Julia had more run left in her.
Yeah, I really didn't like it.
I hope she gets it back.
Yeah, so I got that one wrong. I backed the wrong House of Black team, apparently. And
I got it right, unfortunately.
Yeah. No, I really didn't like that. When the three happened, and I was like, "Is that it?"
And after you were on such a high from House of Black winning the trios match, it's just 6 minutes and then instant deflation. It's a pain. There you go. So Chris Statlander and Stokely Hathaway get into the ring and they're celebrating with Willow, and then out comes Mercedes Moné, and they have a face-off in the ring. And it's a bit weird because Mercedes Moné, she has the like coloured hair and patterns, but you can see blonde hair underneath. So I don't know if they only coloured like the top layer or if it's a wig. I have no idea, but it didn't quite look as polished as usual.
No, it didn't.
But it's fine. But yeah, she can go now. Have the one match.
I mean, she's come in. She's upset the entire women's locker room by having a massive contract that none of the women are even 10% of on.
That's just not fair. Just like when they've got the rankings for a reason to make the championship sort of more meaningful, and then she just skips the queue. It's not fair.
The thing is, right, if she's been brought in to be the face of the women's division, why isn't she going after Toni Storm?
Yeah, it's true. That's a good point.
I think like Tony Khan's given her this contract, and he's like, she's going to be the face of our women's division. She's going to be the face of the company. The last few promos that she's done have been awful. Like, what the hell? Yeah. Okay. It's Charlotte Flair all over again.
Yeah, pretty much. Let's move on. The next match for the AEW International Championship, Kyle O'Reilly versus Roderick Strong. This one I surprisingly don't have many notes for. It's fine. It was really good.
It was amazing.
So Roderick Strong sends the rest of Undisputed Era back to the back, which
well, he sends Taven and Bennett to the back because Wardlow's nowhere to be seen at this point.
Wardlow's nowhere to be seen. Yeah.
At this point. That may or may not be a spoiler.
Maybe. Yeah, this was, you could really see sort of the amount that these two men know each other and their wrestling styles. And they have very similar wrestling styles. So there were quite a few sort of clashes of them doing the same thing at the same time kind of thing.
Which is really cool. I like that.
It is, especially when it's not overdone. And this wasn't. It was sort of just right.
Yeah.
And being able to counter each other. I love that.
Yeah.
Always love that. Just the seeing when a move happens and you can't quite figure out, well, I can't quite figure out
what the hell just happened.
Who actually had the upper hand in the move, because they're just like both doing stuff. It was really good.
Yeah.
Something that really caught my imagination, I guess, was when O'Reilly managed to get Strong like tangled up in the ropes with his legs.
Yeah.
So he like literally couldn't get out. And then Kyle O'Reilly climbs to the turnbuckle and hits a guillotine knee drop on him while he's like suspended in the ropes by his legs. That looked really good and painful. They're not just ropes, you know. They're high tension steel cables.
Above the hardest part of the ring, don't you know?
The hardest part of the ring. Do you have anything you wanted to?
I thought this was, as you say, you know, it was amazing grappling striking exhibition.
Yes.
And it's, I mean, we're going to go into this in a minute. Obviously, there was no real cheating when you really boil it down. So Roddy did kind of go in this alone almost.
Yeah.
And I thought that was great. And it's kind of, it almost kind of bucks that Undisputed Kingdom because it feels like they just sort of utilize numbers to get the upper hand on people.
Yeah.
But Roddy's kind of sending Taven and Bennett to the back. Wardlow's nowhere to be seen. He's literally doing this all on his own, and he's winning matches on his own. I think that's great. Roderick Strong is no one to be slept on. No. And neither is Kyle O'Reilly.
Not at all.
You know?
They're great. Well, talking of Wardlow, he does come out at one point.
Yeah.
He very sort of slowly climbs up the steps to the apron, and the ref catches him and just like tells him to go. So he just stands down by the side. So he does absolutely nothing. But somehow it still gives Roderick Strong the upper hand.
And then Kyle O'Reilly probably gets distracted by
it. It just like throws him off that little bit to allow Strong to get the upper hand.
Yeah.
And he's able to hit End of Heartache and pin O'Reilly to win and retain the championship.
Yeah.
So there wasn't any interference.
Not technically, no.
Just like the hint of the possibility of interference, and it still worked. So yeah, it's great stuff. So how's our predictions?
For that one, we got that one correct. We both predicted Roddy to retain.
Yay. What we didn't predict was what happened next. Adam Cole's music hits.
No, it didn't.
Oh, it didn't hit. Undisputed Kingdom. My bad. Adam Cole is wheeled out to the top of the ramp by the rest of
Bennett and Taven.
Yeah, by them. And then he stands up.
And
he
walks to the ring
confidently and quickly.
Yes.
Strongly to the ring.
Boom!
Adam Cole is back.
Baby.
I don't know whether he's cleared to wrestle, but at least he's cleared to be there.
Yeah, probably maybe not quite clear to wrestle yet.
But there was talk that he was he had to stop appearing on TV because the traveling was holding him back from his recovery.
Yeah.
I think you were telling me that.
Yes.
Any like background knowledge I've got is from him. So
him,
my husband.
Him indoors.
So it's just amazing to see. There was a sort of interesting glance between. Well, Wardlow just didn't seem to look very happy about the whole situation. I don't know.
Well, Wardlow didn't win the title from Joe.
No. So he's just unhappy.
So he's just kind of looking at the crowd and he's like, "Yep, our guy's won, yep." And Adam Cole is just like,
he just gives him a stinking look.
It's like, oh, if looks could kill, Wardlow would be a ghoul.
So another like just sort of a subtle storyline hint something's gonna happen.
I was convinced they were going to pull the trigger then.
Yeah. You know, it's a slow burn. We love a slow burn.
Yeah.
Not too slow, but slow.
Mm-hmm.
All right then. Next match for the FTW Championship. Hook versus Chris Jericho.
The learning tree, don't you know?
The learning tree, Chris Jericho. I think, is there a limit to how many nicknames you're allowed? Because he has a lot.
Not that I know of.
There's so many nicknames.
I wonder which wrestler has had A, the most nicknames, and B, the most gimmick changes in their career.
I mean, Jericho's gotta be up there with the nicknames. It's gotta be.
Yeah.
Yes. Anyways, I enjoyed this match. There was the FTW rules. It's like anything goes, pretty much.
Falls count anywhere.
Falls count anywhere. And they did use that. It wasn't like they didn't make it too gimmicky, but they used it just enough. Tables and bins that had spray paint on them. It was really good. I think I was a bit distracted in this match though by the crowd's attitude.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say a little bit, but I'll try not to go on. Just because everyone's entitled to their opinion.
Yeah.
There are wrestlers that we do not like.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's wrestlers that we don't like in story. We don't like their characters, and you have fun with that.
Yeah.
And there's also wrestlers that we don't like as people, and we will rant about them on here as our opinions.
Mm-hmm.
What I would not do is go to a match where one of them is and just be mean.
Yeah.
And there were chants of please retire.
Yeah. Fozzy sucks.
Fozzy sucks.
Fozzy's got nothing to do with wrestling, it's a band.
Fozzy sucks. I could almost be like, oh, they're just having fun with it. But the please retire one.
But I guarantee you, if he came out to Judas, every one of them would have been singing Judas.
I know. It's like you're going to this guy's place of work where he earns a living and does what he loves to do. And you're not booing. Booing is fine because he's a heel character. You're meant to not like the character.
Well, he's kind of on that edge at the moment, isn't he?
Yeah, I think you could hate the character.
Yeah.
But saying things like please retire, that's an attack on him.
Was it
as a
Go
person.
Home Jericho? Something like that was another one.
Oh, it's just exhausting. Just like thinking these people are watching a really good match. Jericho can still go. If he was like faltering, he might not be as good as he used to be, probably, but he's still
in his 50s, of course he ain't.
He's still a great wrestler, and he's giving Hook a boost, even if Hook doesn't necessarily need a huge boost, because he's champion and doesn't need the whole story is he doesn't need Jericho as a mentor. But this storyline still gives Hook more of a platform. So
it's exposure, yeah, exactly. You're getting the rub off the legend, off the veteran.
Where's the need for putting the energy in to be hateful? I know there was controversy like a few months back. I don't know the details about it.
Nothing's come of it.
But I know that it's blown over.
Yeah, nothing's come of it. So
just be there to enjoy yourself and chant stuff that's relevant to the match. I like that F you so-and-so chants.
Don Callis usually.
Fine. He's a heel.
Yeah.
You're meant to hate him.
But that's in story, yeah.
Yeah, it's just like the
They're not going, please retire Don Callis.
No.
You know?
Just anyways. That's my soapbox for the day.
And it's like I get one of our viewers we had a bit of a conversation in the comments. So thanks to all the guys in the comments on our prediction video. We had James, one of our regulars. We had Generation Thrills and Dave Coombs Best Megadeth. Thanks for joining the comments down below on our predictions. We much appreciate that. Look forward to seeing you in the comments for this one. And I can't remember which of the three did say that Jericho may need to sort of maybe not have as much exposure. And I do kind of agree with that.
Yeah, maybe take a break.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's no problem with that.
Nope.
But he's not saying he needs to just get lost.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
There's a difference. Just be nice.
Yeah.
You can have opinions.
And
just be nice.
It's the downside of it is, and I kind of like this when I was working in retail. People would come into your store and they'd be getting in your face and shouting at you for no good reason. And I liken it to that.
These people
disgusting.
doing that
it's
chants
awful.
are the Karens of the wrestling world. There we go.
You saw exactly where I was going with that. Nice.
I did have that thought. I just didn't write it down.
Brainwave.
Anyways, let's get back to the match. It was a great match. Hook is just incredible. The amount of talent for such a young guy.
Yeah.
We talked about it many times, but he's another one that I'm not going to get tired of watching.
It's not surprising me because obviously Taz is his dad.
Yes. But there's so often a second generation or third generation wrestler cannot live up to it. But Hook's made his own path. He's got the influence from his dad, but he hasn't like tried to be Taz.
No.
Which I think has really helped. And he's just got his own raw talent.
Yeah.
Just amazing. Somehow the bin spot where Hook puts a trash can over Jericho's head.
It's kind of down around his elbows at that point. Yeah. It's kind of holding him in place.
Knocks him about a bit. But then hits a T-bone with the bin still on him.
That was nuts.
It like hits the mat corner first, and I just cannot imagine how that would have felt from the inside.
Not good, is my guess.
Yeah, crazy. Jericho managed to get out of the Red Rum by backing them into a table that was stacked up in the corner, which I thought was good because the Red Rum's it's a finisher.
Yeah, he must not have sort of had it in fully, but yeah, no, I like the storytelling of that.
Mm-hmm. Aubrey had a bit of trouble with FTW rules. There was a pin on the outside that she was late for. It's fine.
You just see her jumping out of the ring. It's like, why aren't you outside the ring already, Aubrey?
I can't remember what the other one was now. Was it a rope break?
Oh, yeah. Jericho had his legs on the ropes from pinning Hook. Yes. And she went, 1, legs on the rope.
Oh, wait.
1, 2. And the crowd just like, that was 3. That was 3. Or was it, what's up, ref? Or something about the ref. I can't remember who it was. Yeah, she completely botched that.
Oops.
Damn it, Aubrey.
She clearly has
you had one job. Literally, one job.
Matches. I'm sure she'll learn from it. It's fine.
But that's it. And then that's the difference between that and what the fans were doing to Jericho. You know, it's different.
You have a bit of a joke and a laugh. It's fine. A bit of banter. No problem. But you don't go too
Brits
much.
are all about the bants. Cheeky.
All right.
I can do that.
Yeah, don't. Any other bits you want to talk about?
I figured that there would be a lot more FTW stuff going on, like a lot more hardcore stuff.
We had tables, we had bins.
I think it was enough, but I don't know. I just felt like there could have been more.
Yeah.
The last ones, I mean, the last one that I could remember off the top of my head, there was one with Willow. I don't remember that much, but the last one I can remember was the one with Jack Perry when he gets put through the car windshield, you know, and it's stuff like that.
That was FTW.
Yeah, that was FTW because Jack Perry was the champion at that point, and Hook wins it back off him. But it's like, you kind of feel like it's not upping each other every time because otherwise you'd be jumping off skyscrapers and all this kind of crap.
You can't.
But I felt like there probably would have been a bit more. But it wasn't. I mean, they obviously Floyd made an appearance, but
So anyway. They could have like gone out into the crowd or up the ramp.
But yeah, no, it was still good. It was still good. I enjoy the drama with it as well, especially in the bit that you're probably coming up to now.
Oh yeah. So Hook's like real beat up, and Jericho's basically...
Well, he's had 2 code breakers, a Judas effect.
So much.
He's been stuck in the line to towards Jericho.
Jericho's apologized to him like 50 times. Like, I'm sorry, and then hits him with something, and then he doesn't stay down, so he apologizes again and does another move. You know, if you're that sorry, stop doing it. But
well, he does say, "Why don't you just stay down?"
Yeah. So then Jericho gets Floyd from under the ring, the baseball bat.
Yeah.
Tells Hook to stay down, and Hook flips him off. There's a lot of that in this pay-per-view.
This is after the second Judas effect.
And then Jericho just like crowns him with the bat.
At this point in the back, you see Taz standing up on the announce desk, and he just stood there, and he's just like...
The crowd around him are sort of cheering as if he's going to get in the ring and interfere. But he doesn't. So after Hook's hit with the bat, he's out.
That bat hit looked pretty good as well.
It did. Jericho pins him for the win.
Jericho FTW.
Yes.
What's his new gimmick? Hardcore Jericho? Jericho. In terms of our predictions, I got that one correct, and you got that one incorrect.
I couldn't see Hook losing it, but I'm interested to see what Hook does next and what Jericho does with it.
I think he'll have a little break.
Yeah.
I think he did when Jack Perry took him out.
It's a good opportunity to have a break. It's hard work being a champ, I'm sure.
Yeah. But then obviously the rest of the stuff now with Taz, isn't it? So.
Yeah, so Taz comes out to ringside to check on Hook.
Well, he's already at ringside because he's on the announcer desk.
He gets into the ring, I mean.
No, he doesn't. He's on the side.
We're on the side, checking on him.
But he's basically telling Jericho to get lost.
Yeah.
So just get away from him.
Fair enough.
You just smacked him with a baseball bat, of course.
But no, other than the crowd's reaction, I really enjoyed this. It's just a shame about the distraction.
The one thing I did like is that Jericho, when he's got this FTW belt and he's holding it up, and he's just like...
Yeah, he doesn't look happy.
And even the announcer's like, have you ever seen a new champ winning a belt and have that look on his face?
Yeah.
Like, he's clearly distraught over what he's had to do to get this belt. And even though going out the brand, he's got an issue, he's like, I'm sorry. And it's that drama, it's the storytelling, and
Yeah.
that's what you want.
Exactly. Yeah. Okay, next we have for the AEW Women's World Championship, Toni Storm versus Thunder Rosa. It's okay. It was a good match. I enjoyed it. It's all right. I don't think there were like many high spots. So Thunder Rosa has a mask when she enters. She's still got a big headdress like she usually does, and she's got like almost a luchador style mask.
Yeah.
And comes into the ring. Toni Storm is made up extra pale and pasty. So pasty. She's like a ghost. But then it doesn't match the rest of her skin.
Yeah, that was a bit weird. A choice was made.
I know, like, she's portraying a time period where they liked pale makeup, but usually they also had pale arms.
They kind of at least blended it or something, yeah.
They didn't, they were all just pasty. But yeah, that was interesting. But then after the bell rings, Thunder Rosa removes the mask to show that she's not wearing face paint. Because that's sort of a line that she used
staple,
in their in their back and forth, where she said, "You don't want to see what's beneath this mask," kind of thing. And now she's presumably unmakeuped, or not unmakeuped, face painted.
So the commentators did this thing. Oh, look, Thunder Rosa hasn't got any makeup on.
When she's got like bright blue eyes.
I mean the face paint. You know what I mean?
Like,
I think it was Nigel.
Probably. So bright blue eye makeup and everything. Like, she hasn't got any makeup on. Is that what you think women look like? Anyway, it was funny. But yeah, it's sort of to show that this is now it's serious.
And more than just a gimmick, I guess.
Yeah. What else? We had Mariah May at ringside and Luther as well.
Yeah.
There was some Luther chants, which is interesting. I think he got taken out a couple times. I felt quite sorry for him because all he seems to do is catch Toni Storm or get beaten up. poor man. We had Mariah May got up on the apron at one point, presumably to interfere, but she's attacked from behind by Deonna Purrazzo.
Yeah, the ref kind of sees and stops her, and then in comes Deonna Purrazzo again.
And she also attacks Luther. Poor Luther. And then Mariah May and Deonna Purrazzo fight back up the ramp off they go.
Deonna Purrazzo lost to Toni Storm. You just need to get over it and go fight someone else. Seriously.
I think she's like defending Thunder Rosa now.
Yeah, because she's fighting with Toni Storm.
I don't get it.
It's still, exactly. It's still the thing with Toni Storm, and it's they do some things in the women division great. Mm-hmm. They do other things that just make you go, "What the hell is going on?"
It was a little bit. Yeah, I mean, it was pretty good. You got Toni Storm's usual kind of almost slapstick kind of exaggerated style. Thunder Rosa's more serious. I don't think there was anything particularly special.
No.
Which I kind of, when we had the reveal that Thunder Rosa didn't have her face paint on, you kind of thought, oh, maybe she's trying something new. Maybe there's going to be extra viciousness. But it's normal. It's fine. You got any comments?
I thought it was better than what I was expecting it to be, but it didn't really grab my attention that much.
It's such a shame. I really, really want to come into these with the same amount of enthusiasm for the women's matches as the men's matches. But it just isn't happening, and I feel bad because I feel like I should be advocating for the women's stuff.
And we already know we're going to get one dud match on Double or Nothing because Mercedes Moné's in
it. Yeah. It's just, I don't know what it is now. If it's just this is the way it is, or are they missing something? Are they got the wrong people in the ring, or are they just not getting the right training? I mean, they're not bad wrestlers. No. It's just not getting those really exciting instances, I suppose.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
quite often the matches that are on TV end up being much better than the ones on the pay-per-views. I don't know what's happening.
Yep, I don't understand it. I mean, it's like going back to sort of this company, the WrestleMania Night 2 reactions. What was my favorite match on Night 2 of WrestleMania?
I can't remember.
Bayley and Io Sky.
Yeah. So.
And I really want to say that about some of the AEW women's matches as well, but so far,
because they have a more filled out women's roster than WWE, and for a time it was really well used. There's a dip, and hopefully it'll get better. I don't know. Maybe Mercedes Moné will bring it to life.
I think it might have started dipping when Saraya was brought in.
Uh-huh.
And she won the women's championship because
Yeah.
I lost a lot of interest when they did that just because it was in England.
Yeah.
And obviously Britt Baker's injured, so
yeah, that's true.
we
Britt
don't know
Baker's
when
one of the
she's
highlights,
one of the staples, yeah,
for sure.
And Ty Conti as well.
Yeah.
Ty Conti obviously went to have a child with
Mhm.
Sammy Guevara, her husband. You know, fantastic. Congratulations
Yeah.
to them, amazing. I think she's training to get back in the ring. I
Mhm.
saw a picture of her saying that she's getting back in shape.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's ring shape she's looking for or just general
Yeah.
healthy shape. I do not know.
And now Ruby Soho, who is one of the most interesting women in the women's division, is off to
pregnant,
have a baby.
yeah.
So, I don't know. It's just one of those things, I guess. But we can just hope that next time around we'll get some better women's matches.
I hope so, but obviously we've already got one dud.
Yeah.
So it depends who's going to step up and face Toni Storm next, I guess.
I know. There we go. So to the finish. I did find the finish quite interesting. In that Thunder Rosa had, I can't remember what the hold was, but it was some kind of hold on Toni Storm. And instead of going for the ropes, Toni grabs the ring apron and just like as she's dragged across.
Oh, it was a Texas cloverleaf.
Texas cloverleaf, thank you. So the ring apron just gets dragged right into the ring. The hold gets broken, and the ref's like, because
she went out the boundaries of the ring.
She was out the boundaries, but it's a little bit. Yeah, Toni drags the ring apron into the ring. The ref has to fix it, obviously,
because it's in the middle of the canvas.
Yeah, and then Toni hits Thunder Rosa with a low blow, which
punts her.
Still hurts for ladies. I can promise you that.
Just boot.
It's not the same. I'm not saying it's the same.
No.
But it's still gonna make your eyes water.
Yeah.
And she just does a low blow and then pins Thunder Rosa to win.
Did she hit a Storm Zero or did she just pin her? I can't remember.
I can't remember. I didn't write down a Storm Zero.
I can't remember.
I think I was too stunned by the low blow.
That was nuts.
Yeah, I mean, considering it was quite a normal match, pretty much, and then the finish is that, like, it did like bring it up a little bit at the end.
Yeah. What's the benefit of Thunder Rosa? Like, you couldn't beat me square, blah blah blah. I want a rematch, blah blah blah.
Probably.
And then they'll stick Deonna Purrazzo in and make it a triple threat for some unknown reason.
Yep. But yeah, Toni Storm retains.
In terms of predictions, I got that one correct, and you did not. Unfortunately, you felt that Thunder Rosa was going to take it.
I'm glad I was wrong, for reasons that I did discuss on the predictions.
Yeah.
So check that out if you haven't already. Rags is scratching the carpet upstairs.
Rags
is loud. All right then. Next match we've got not for anything.
For nothing.
For nothing. They build this as a dream match. The American Dragon, Bryan Danielson versus Will Ospreay. You can't help but sing along to his music.
It gets right in your ear and just burrows in. And
we've got Don Callis on commentary, so that's where the "F you, Don Callis" chants come in. What a guy! But he actually does.
What a guy!
He does compliment both wrestlers in this. He's actually got quite a balanced commentary when he does it, just with like a little dash of evil, just a little sprinkle. I mean, what can you say about this match? I had to trim down my notes.
Longest match on the card.
Just writing constantly. It's like, oh my goodness, that was amazing. Write it down, and then like, this is going to be long. It was amazing. It was non-stop. It's what we expected.
Yeah, I had no doubt that Will Ospreay would put out and show out.
Yes, I love that they started off mainly with mat work. Technical wrestling, submission-y kind of business, bit of chain wrestling, I think, that kind of stuff. But then as the match progressed, the energy grew and sort of just like ramped up to more high-flying stuff and high energy. So it just sort of brought the crowd with it from a standard level, just like brings you up gently to a climax.
Yeah.
Just really well thought out.
It kind of goes up, 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 and you think it's peaking, and it's still peaking, and it's still peaking, and it's still peaking, and it's still, and I'm like, jeez.
Oh, it's crazy. We had Will Ospreay hitting an Oz cutter on the apron.
He does that, yeah. He does that quite often.
The hardest part of the ring.
Don't you know?
And then, while the ref is checking on Bryan Danielson on the outside, Will Ospreay hits a hidden blade off the apron onto the outside, and the ref nearly eats it.
The ref is literally a couple of inches away from eating it.
Oh my goodness. To give you, if you haven't seen it, to give you a bit of a feeling of how how much of an escalation this match is to other ones that we've talked about so far. The chant was, "We are not worthy."
Yeah.
I've never heard that before.
Nope.
How do you even start that sort of chant?
I know, right?
But it did feel like that. It's like we're getting such a show, and like you're only paying for a pay-per-view, and you're just getting an incredible show of crazy.
It's something you're not going to forget about easily.
Yeah,
So, you know, it's there. Was it? This is awesome. This is wrestling. AEW.
So much.
Like,
and you could just see the joy in both these guys' faces that what they were doing was what they wanted to do. It's what they love, and people were just eating it up.
Yeah. I loved that in the beginning of the match, Bryan stood there and he's got this grin on his face, and he's like, yeah. And then Ospreay hits him with a couple of quite big, nasty hits, like maybe 5 minutes, maybe close to 10 minutes in, and all of a sudden he's like, I ain't smiling no more. And again, it's that story, it's that psychology, it's the progression of it going through, and it's.
What I loved as well is before they start wrestling, you've got the crowd the crowd are chanting for Will Ospreay. So I think we're doing one of the songs, I think. And Bryan Danielson is just grinning, like you say, and he's just loving that.
He's soaking it in.
His opponent is getting all that attention because he's in it for the show.
Yeah, I mean, for all intents and purposes, in this particular moment, it is his partner.
Yeah,
because it's his ring partner who he's going to. Yeah, exactly.
Amazing move from Ospreay, who manages to turn a triangle chokehold into a Styles Clash. I don't know how that happened.
Yeah, I need to go back and watch that in slow-mo, I think.
So you can lift someone up if they've got the triangle hold, because their legs are around your neck.
Yeah.
And they've got
Usually they've got your arm around your head, though, holding you, so it's...
So he manages to lift Bryan Danielson up and somehow gets his legs in the right position. I don't know. I can't even describe how it worked, but he did it, and it looked great.
Just lays there for like 20 seconds.
What just happened? Hidden blade colliding with a knee.
Oh,
ouch.
Yeah.
That's a hard part of the arm. On the hardest bit of your body, the knee, probably. Don't take me seriously on that. I'm not scientifically minded.
I mean, you're probably not wrong. It's the elbow and the kneecap, so yeah.
It's very hard. So I can't imagine that felt good.
No.
But yeah, I mean,
that when Ospreay's gone off the top and he hits that jumping knee into the side of his head, it might have been a psycho knee. Yeah. And it hits him square in the side of the temple, and I was like,
he's gonna be bruised. Any comments before we get to the finish?
I've only got 2 words in mind. I can't repeat them.
Wow.
I just didn't want to take myself.
I know, it's crazy. I'm like, part of me wants to have the time and the energy to be able to watch these pay-per-views through twice, so I can just take it all in once and then make notes afterwards. But there's no time.
It was this match, the longest one on the card, was like 32 minutes and 15 seconds.
Crazy.
Yeah.
So to the finish, Will Ospreay hits a hidden blade on Danielson, then a Tiger Driver, and then another hidden blade, and pins Danielson to win.
But
that Tiger Driver, there was something. Maybe it looked. I don't know if it looked rough, or it might just be to my eyes not being used to seeing such an intense match. Anyway, it didn't. It looked like it. It looked like
actual
it hurt.
Wrestling.
Yeah, it looked like it hurt, and Bryan Danielson was just on the ground, like clutching his neck and calling for the ref. The ref calls for the doctor, and that's when Ospreay manages to hit the other hidden blade and pin for the win.
It's like, wait, is this real? The doctor's coming in. What's going on here?
You get like 3 doctors in the ring, and Danielson's like sort of celebrating, but also Ospreay celebrating, but like looking concerned and going over to check on him.
And sort of like, to be fair to the Jackal Don Callis as well, if those who know why I'm calling him the Jackal, even he was like, oh, I hope he's okay. You know, even he was like, you know, I don't want to see anyone get hurt. In that sense, and
really dangerous situations, and hope everything's fine. Did you find out afterwards?
Supposedly, I didn't look deeply, but supposedly it was an injury scare, which turned out to be nothing, and it might have just been a good sell job.
Interesting.
I haven't looked into it deeply yet because we've literally finised watching it and come straight to recording, and I didn't want to get any spoilers. So
Danielson has a history of neck issues.
Yeah, he had to retire because he I don't know if he broke it or he injured his neck, so he had to retire.
It could have been everything's fine, just a sell job.
Yeah.
It could have been Danielson felt something tweak and went into a bit of a panic potentially because of what happened previously, and just was like, I need to get checked out, or it was an actual injury. But I feel like we'd have heard.
So, with the thought that it's real, if it was, I feel the ref would have stopped it.
Yeah, he wouldn't have let the second hidden blade
called
happen.
the doctor. The doctor did not get into the ring. He was on the apron on the side.
Yeah.
That's when Ospreay hits that second hidden blade, and then the ref goes for the cover.
Yeah.
I feel that if it was 100% legitimate injury, and it wasn't some sort of sell job, or it wasn't already pre-known by the referee and the doctor, then it would have been...
They'd have just thrown up the X.
They would have thrown up the X. Or, well, they would have thrown because the doctor's right there already.
Yeah.
But they would have said, look, hang on, back off a minute, don't touch him.
So we've seen it before where there's an injury, so they hurry up the finish. But they usually then don't do another offensive move and then finish, do they? They just...
It's honestly, usually it is literally just, we're calling the match off.
Yeah.
These days, we're calling the match off. It's
especially
done.
If it's neck or head related.
Yeah.
So that sounds like then it was a hell of a good sell job, because I was worried.
I'm pretty sure we'll find out on Dynamite.
Yeah. So I'm gonna not assume that everything is 100% fine until we hear, because I'm like, part of me is like, can't believe that was all a work.
Because as soon as he lands, he just clutches his shoulder and he's screaming. And it's like,
and the look on Ospreay's face as well. He sells it so well. Don Callis sells it so well. So if it's nothing at all,
the announcers just kind of go deathly quiet, and they're like,
and the crowd are just like, and we were like. It's one of those things. I'm just thinking we're gonna see him retire again. And he's like has this whole thing of his final year of wrestling, and he's gonna finish on his own terms. Yeah, full time. Sorry, and then he's gonna have to go. But
I mean, who's to say that he isn't feeling dinged up, and this is a way to get in there in storyline?
Yeah,
to prevent it from happening, maybe.
Yeah, or it could be like maybe there's a minor injury that he does need to get healed.
Maybe trapped a nerve.
Quite possibly. So there's various things. So, well, if you know before us, let us know.
Yeah, if you hear anything credible, let us know in the comments down below.
I know you've got your sources for wrestling news.
I do, yes.
And you are my source for wrestling news.
Yes, I am, yes.
So there we go. Okay, then. Shall we move on to the next match?
Yes, let's.
One...
we both predicted Will Ospreay to win. We both got that correct.
Whoop, whoop. Will Ospreay. The next match is for the AEW World Tag Team Championships, and it's a ladder match between the Young Bucks and FTR.
So the vacant Tag Team Championships?
Yes. The Elite. The Elite. This is a great match. I had a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I had a lot of fun with this one. There's a lot of the commentary was based around how ladder matches are the most dangerous kind of matches. Which after the match before, I'm like, well, you can still do some damage. But, I mean, they made it believable. Lots of ladders, as you'd imagine. Lots of high spots, literally and figuratively.
Fair amount of blood.
Fair amount of blood, all from one person.
Yeah.
Poor Dax. He just
like, Dax is the Moxley of this pay-per-view.
It was just, like, streaming. It was a lot of blood all over the mat, everywhere, all over the ropes. We did get in this, as you do now, when the Young Bucks are in the ring, you get CM Punk chants, because some people still love him. What I love now is there has been a shift in AEW. As soon as the CM Punk chants start, boos start, and they drown it out. And then CM Punk stops, the boos stop, and we carry on as normal.
AEW crowd is righting itself.
What a great way for the crowd to regulate, like you say, just regulate themselves without causing extra disruption, without like escalating things. You just shut it down and you can move on. Because it's the same as with the Jericho stuff. There's no need to be bringing drama into it. No. There's enough drama in wrestling.
Let's just move on, for God's sake.
So I wanted to point that out because of just how like it's bringing a bit of maturity back in, which is great. So a couple of good ladder stuff then.
A couple of good ladder stuff.
A couple of good ladder things.
That's good England, that.
I'm excited. Ladders. So at one point, the Young Bucks pick up a ladder, so one at each end, to, I guess, put it into the ring.
Oh, yeah.
They're picking it up, and then Dax comes, like, sliding through, presumably to try and collide with the
Like
ladder,
a baseball slide, yeah.
knocking the Young Bucks over. They just lift the ladder up, whoop, slides through, off he goes.
I think that's where he gets bust open because they swing the ladder into him.
Yes.
And the contest is about those sharp edges, and I think that might have been where he got bust open. Or it was like bust open.
It was just bleeding for the whole time.
I bet he took aspirin before the match.
Probably. Just thin that blood, make it look good. Drink lots of water. The Bucks again, because they are the masters of ladders.
They're the EVPs, yeah.
They set up a ladder so it's between the ring and the timekeeper's area. A couple of things happen there. The most memorable is Cash Wheeler, who's on the ladder with the Young Bucks, and then falls.
Yeah.
You get it.
Yeah.
Legs akimbo. Ouch. And to add insult to injury, he then takes an EVP trigger.
Yeah.
While he's still in that position.
And then just drops.
He tumbles backwards out of it.
Yeah.
Comedy gold.
I thought you were going for the... hang on, no, that was Dax. I thought you were going on about the pile driver.
Yes, they also a pile driver. This is another match where I did have to cut down how many different things I talked about.
There's a lot going on.
There's so much, and we don't want these videos to go on too long. Please be careful chants started. How wholesome is that?
I know, right? I think it was Nicholas and I want to say Dax up on the ladder. It might have been Cash. But yeah, please be careful.
Please be careful.
I've never heard that one before.
So this was after various moves, jumping off the ladders, jumping onto ladders.
One of them's already broken at this point.
Yeah. Please be careful. We like blood, we like tables and ladders, but please don't hurt yourself.
Is this before or after Matthew Jackson goes ass first through a table?
I think it's before. He does go butt first. That hurts. I mean, this is one of those matches, if I was to tell you all the highlights, it would literally be play by play the whole thing. So if you're not watching the event, watch Will Ospreay match.
Yeah.
Watch this match.
Yeah.
There's probably a few others, but you can choose based on what we said. But those two matches for sure. Watch them. Even if you don't want to, do it. Do you have anything you wanted to go to before?
There was a lot of close calls, that was close. If he'd been a couple of inches that way or a couple of inches that way, and
wasn't there something where Dax's head nearly hit the steps?
That was Jericho and Hook.
Oh, that was Jericho and Hook. Well, this whole thing was wild.
But a lot of this match was that.
Yeah, a lot of close calls. And a lot of close calls getting up to the belts as well.
Yes.
A lot of the quickest ladder climbing I've ever seen, right at the start. I can't remember which Jackson was.
It was
Don't Cancel Me.
Matthew
Jackson, just whipped up. Usually,
it's I think Dax fires him into the ropes. He starts climbing the ladder. Matt bounces off the ropes, jumps, and starts running up the ladder on the other side. It's
because so often you've got the dramatic slow climb and reaching at every step, and you're just look how easy it would be if you just climbed ladders like a normal person. Well, quicker than a normal person. That is also where they kind of fall down a bit. I think it's one of the Jacksons again started climbing a ladder, and then on the first step he reached up, and I was like, well, he's not getting it.
It was Matt. I was Nicholas.
He's not getting
Nicholas.
it.
Yeah.
No chance. This is definitely getting interrupted. But the finish.
Yes. What we got?
So Dax Harwood is nearly at the top of the ladder, and it looks like he's gonna win when a masked fan.
What are you trying to say, Leanne?
Gets into the ring, and knocks. I think he knocks the ladder over.
He pushes the ladder over. Yeah.
Yes. So Dax doesn't get it. So then security are like.
Two security guards dive in,
tackle him a bit, take the mask off, and it's Jack Perry. The scapegoat, Jack Perry.
Oh yeah.
And you've just got the camera on him and the security guards, and in the background you can see Nick Jackson just sneaky climbing ladders.
Yeah, that was a brilliant shot. Absolutely brilliant.
Loved it. He gets to the top, grabs the title because they only had to grab one of them.
He grabs them both. But yeah.
And the Young Bucks are the tag team champs.
3-time elite tag team champs.
And as Jack Perry is being led out through, I think one of the side entrances, he's doing the elite. So he's
damn straight.
He's elite.
Damn straight. I hope so. I want a Jack Perry welcoming ceremony.
Yeah. I got the impression the Young Bucks were surprised, but I don't know if they were just putting that on.
No, I reckon they put it on. I reckon they've known. obviously Jack Perry's been in New Japan for a couple of months. While he was feuding with Shota Umino. Now going into Forbidden Door, I kind of imagine. Obviously, we've got Okada.
Yeah.
We've got Nicholas and Matthew Jackson, and potentially Jack Perry. There's 4 people there. Now, what if like FTR and like Pac and Eddie Kingston, all these like maybe there's like 6 or 7 guys who are like teaming up and be like, right, we need to kill the Elite, we need to stop the Elite, let's break them up, whatever. Hangman Page comes back and he's annoyed he's been kicked out or whatever, and there's like maybe 8 guys want to take out the Elite, and then they're like, what are we gonna do? We got to find some people to team with, and then Jack Perry's like, I got it. And a Forbidden Door, they bring in the House of Torture from New Japan.
Ooh.
I'd love to see Evil and Ren Narita over in AEW for a bit.
Yeah.
Because that would be sick. Or even you could even do, because Shota Umino has got his ties with John Moxley. John Moxley is facing Ren Narita for the IWGP Heavyweight Championship. I want to say in May at some point. So even that could lead into it, you know? So you could even put FTR, Pac, and the Blackpool Combat Club versus the Elite and House of Torture. I think that'd be sick.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Make it happen, Tony Khan.
Make it happen.
We want House of Torture in AEW.
Yes, please. All right, then. Did we do our predictions for that one?
We got that one correct. We predicted the Elite to win.
Amazing. Well, that brings us on to your favourite segment of the show. The Unsigned of the pay-per-view. The Unsigned of the pay-per-view. I have to think about it now because I have to say a different one for each company. Not a huge amount of signs. There are a couple of good ones though. So we've got in 3rd place, Kingston, Forever a Bum. I thought it was quite poetic.
Yep. Okay.
In 2nd place, Where's Our Scumbag? Clearly wanting MJF back.
Yeah.
Who knows? Maybe soon. Maybe not.
Depends how well he's injured.
Yes, we shall see. But there are quite a few signs calling for MJF, and I know on a different event, or it might have been a TV spot, someone had like a missing poster with MJF.
I think it was Collision.
Might have been. That's fine. And in 1st place, who's champ?
Really?
Swerve's champ. Not a spoiler because they showed it before the match, so we haven't got to that bit yet.
But
who's champ? Swerve's champ. They didn't have the right who's, but for the context, but you know we can forgive and forget. But with our new addition to this segment, if you are the owner of that sign and watching, or if you know the owner of the sign and watching, and can prove that you have that sign, drop us a message, put something in the comments, and I'll find something to send you as a prize for coming first in Leanne Signs of the Pay-Per-View. Leanne Signs of the Pay-Per-View.
Dynasty Edition.
I've got to do the
Dynasty Edition.
Oh, guess what?
What? It's time for the main event.
I love doing that. It's so fun. So we have, for the AEW World Championship, Samoa Joe versus Swerve Strickland. Swerve's in Black Panther gear. It looks pretty cool. It's a full, like, got a mask and everything.
Yeah.
Prince Nana comes out and like places a ceremonial robe on him.
Yeah.
Which is pretty cool.
It's like a bit early for coronation, mate. You haven't won the title yet.
I know. Well, hasn't he got a portrait on his leg with him with the title and everything?
It's like, that's a bit of foreshadowing, isn't it?
It's either super confident or really bad karma.
You just jinxed it, yeah. You just given yourself 13 years bad luck or something. You know.
This was a really good match as well.
Yeah.
Joe's great.
Yeah.
Swerve's great.
Yeah.
Prince Nana's funny.
Yeah.
You can't go wrong.
Wasn't there a point where he comes around and starts bad mouthing Joe, and then he's like, he turns around and walks off, and he's like, and leave the crowds are laughing.
I think that he gets scared. We get to that a little bit. It's one of my things.
Okay.
It's all good. Another one where like a lot happens, so it's hard to take your eyes off the screen. Not quite to the degree of a couple of the other matches.
There's not as many moving parts. This is a bit more.
It brings you back down to earth a little bit.
Paced.
Yeah. Not saying it's not bad.
No. That's not a bad thing at all.
Great match. Yeah. Maybe more of a traditional match, I suppose.
Yeah. It's not full out. It's well paced.
Yeah, and for an AEW World Championship match, that's kind of what you want. You want something a bit more serious, I suppose. It was really good. Joe, about halfway through the match, roughly, pulls up the mats from the outside.
Yeah.
So on the floor, revealing the concrete. And after some scary moments, does manage to power slam Swerve onto it. Ouch.
Yeah, that's splat. Ugh.
I mean, those mats aren't much padding anyway, but when it's on the plain concrete, that's gonna just shake your bones.
Talk about jarring. Oof.
So there is a point. So Joe gets very frustrated, and gets the belt out, and he's sort of. That's where Prince Nana sort of tries to approach him.
Yeah, that's right.
And then the
Can't just take the belt.
Brandish, and you're like, oh, okay. Turns around.
Quickly saunters off.
Not worth the risk, I'm afraid. But that was funny. But Swerve sort of kicks him on his way back into the ring, so he drops the belt. And gets a guillotine drop and a Swerve stomp as well.
Yeah.
So there's quite a bit of back and forth with the belt. And I don't think anyone actually gets hit with it.
Nope.
Which is actually probably a good thing for this match. You don't want this to
I was hoping it wouldn't. I was hoping they would just tease it and then Swerve would take the high road.
Yes, which is perfect. That's how it should work for not every match, but this one I think needed it, didn't it?
Yeah.
Just
after the triple threat last month,
Yes, something
last month? Yeah.
Clean. I mean, this was the ref's like first AEW Championship pay-per-view match that he was doing.
Yes.
Which they mentioned, and
Stefan Smith,
Thank you, because I didn't write the name of the ref down and then I regretted it. I love that, we've said it before, we love that AEW, like, give the referees credit.
Yeah. Referees are part of the show.
Exactly. Aubrey is
like without the referee, who's counting 1, 2, 3, right?
Exactly. Let them have their names. And
without the referee, there is no 1, 2, 3.
It rhymes, so it's true. No, it's great. Just that little accolade and for him, just to celebrate. It's a big step for a ref to have a pay-per-view championship match for the first time, because I can imagine the pressure must be huge, because everyone just yells at you if you get anything wrong, as we've already seen with me
Aubrey
yelling at Aubrey. That's fine. Do you have any comments on this match?
You missed the Joe walkaway.
Oh, the Joe walkaway.
So Swerve jumped to the top. He's going to do more of the top, and Joe does his usual saunter off. Swerve lands on his feet and just I can't remember if he drop kicks him or does something, but he literally counters it, and it's like he countered the counter. Wow, and it's like it's about time someone did it.
Yes,
because it's like I mean it's fun when it happens. But Swerve's obviously faced him last month, and he probably suffered it then. So he's not going to go into this now and not be prepared for it. And I like that.
Yes,
it's like he's learning, and I really like that.
Yeah, it makes a difference. It makes an impact when someone's taken something one time, so now they can counter it.
Yep.
So being able to walk away from the walk away, it's good. I like it. Yes, I did have to limit what I wrote a bit.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else?
You already got it. It was intense all the way through. That was great.
Okay. Yeah. So coming to the finish.
Yeah.
Somehow, Swerve managed to powerbomb Joe.
I think Joe was on the top rope and he slipped down.
Ropes.
Oh, he was going to suplex Swerve, and Swerve literally just jumps over him.
He went really far.
He did, yeah. It's like, what the hell?
Other side of the ring, and then had to get back.
Yeah. Call an Uber.
Underneath Joe.
So get back to Joe.
But yeah, powerbomb. The sound.
Oh, it was oof.
Loud.
Oof.
That's impressive, mate. And then goes up to the top turnbuckle and hits the Swerve stomp.
Second one.
Second.
Second one of the match in total. Yeah.
Pins Joe to win.
Whose house?
Swerve's house.
Whose title?
Swerve's title. Swerve is the AEW champion, world champion.
Well deserved as well.
Very much.
Well
so.
Swerved.
I don't like that one.
Okay. You don't know until you try, right?
Yeah,
so you've got to give it a shot. I mean, our viewers know we've got to give something a shot, right? You know. In terms of predictions, we got that one correct. We both predicted it was Swerve's time.
Yes.
Whose time?
Swerve's time. I've had enough now. No more Swerve. No, it's fine. I was very enthusiastically doing the dance on the entrance.
You were.
I loved it. I was trying to get Rags to do it, but he wouldn't get his paws up.
He wouldn't.
Shame.
Overall,
this was a really, really good pay-per-view.
Oh, it was amazing.
There were high notes and low notes.
Yeah.
At the same time, though, you do need some lower moments so you can catch
recover
your breath.
a little bit. Yeah.
So I'm not too salty. I just feel like a bit sad that those low points were the two women's matches. But this is how it is at the moment, and all we can do is hope for things to get better. Like we said. So I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I'm very happy, and I realized that I have not written down my favorites and least favorites.
Banger Dynasty. So what was your least favorite match of the pay-per-view then?
Least favorite is actually not that difficult.
It's down to 2, right?
Yeah. I'm afraid it was Judy Hart versus Willow Nightingale.
Yeah, I have to agree.
That one moment pulling out of the
Camel clutch.
Suspension of disbelief kind of thing.
Yeah.
And also the finish being a little bit disappointing for me personally.
And the fact this entire thing is writing around Mercedes Moné, and I really don't like that.
So it was definitely my least favourite match on the card.
I mean, part of me is wondering what happens if she gets in that ring at Double or Nothing, twists her ankle, and is out for another year. Yeah. We've just got another CM Punk on our hands, basically.
Ooh.
You know?
You don't want that.
Yeah, no, so I unfortunately have to agree, and it's because of that.
Yeah.
And the fact that it was only 6 minutes long, that was a travesty. That was an injustice to Julia, in my opinion.
Yeah.
She's held that title for a little while.
Mm-hmm.
She's done really well with it.
Yep.
What was your favourite match of
actually the pretty close between two. And I think I've already pretty much given it away earlier on. Oh. So it's between
I think I know which two.
Danielson and Ospreay and the ladder match.
Yeah.
Oh no! I'm gonna go with Ospreay Danielson. Yeah.
All the way. I predicted this was gonna be my favorite match. It went in, and as soon as the match started, you could feel that air and that tension, and it was like, this is history. This is something in history in the making, and this is going to be a slugfest. Sure. It's going to be non-stop. It's going to be a banger. And they did not disappoint in the slightest.
So I talked about in the predictions how, like, the way I look forward to things, the gimmicky matches get my attention more because I think I've got something to latch on to that, like, oh, that could be interesting. There's a lot they could do with
like
that.
A focal point.
Whereas a more traditional match, all I can think is, well, it's these two guys and they're going to wrestle and that'll be great. But then they don't have the gimmicky bits. Yeah. But then when you watch it and you see the talent and you see the amazing things these people can do, it does change that. So whether me anticipating something and then enjoying something is not always going to be the same thing.
Yeah.
So I'm glad it switched, I think.
You
I loved it.
Yeah,
there you go.
No, it was great. I love that match.
Yeah, it's
I need
great.
to watch that again.
I do actually want to watch that one again.
Yeah. Cool, awesome. Right, so what's our next wrestling video, Leanne? Testing time.
Oh no. I can't remember.
WWE Backlash is the next wrestling video in general. Our next AEW video will obviously be Double or Nothing, which is up on the 26th of May, I believe. Backlash is on the 4th.
Cool. We've got a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
That's all right.
Yeah. So, not too bad.
So much wrestling.
Take it away, I guess.
All right, then. Thank you so much for watching. You know we appreciate you, but we always want to say it because of how much we do. Please like the video if you liked it. Subscribe and hit the bell to be notified when we drop new videos. Talk to us in the comments. Let us know what your favourite match of the card
Join James,
was.
join David Coombs' Best Megadeth, and join Generation Thrill in the comments down below.
Have a chat and let us know your favourite match. So if you've got any that you're looking forward to maybe in the next pay-per-views, you're like, maybe this
in terms of the rankings now, Will Ospreay's only going to go upwards, so we're going to get Swerve and Ospreay at some point.
Ooh, that'll be great.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that'll be good.
Oh yeah.
We're also on social media, so you can also talk to us there. We're on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And our link tree's in the description below, which will take you to all of those places. That's all the things. We've got other videos that will go up between now and the next wrestling one, so do check them out. We do board game stuff, video game stuff, some unboxing stuff, depending on when things get delivered.
So basically loads of nerdy shit.
We're so nerdy and we love it. So join us. It's a happy place to be. So yeah, that's it. Can't think of anything else.
Cool.
So until next time.
By order of the Bang Bang Gang, guns up.
Bye.
Club.